Okay, let's see. We should be going live. I think we're live. Let's wait for that green, the green dot, which let me, we're live. Woo, wonderful. Okay, so welcome everyone to this lesson. And yes, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to use the idiom, keep a stiff upper lip. We're going to use the conversation. So I think it's a good time to check out, what are we going to study today? We are going to watch a conversation over there. We're going to analyze this conversation. We're going to talk about phrases and vocabulary in this conversation. Make sure you guys understand everything. We're going to use pictures to help understand. And we're going to take 2 quizzes to check and make sure you understand what we're studying. So if you have questions, put them in the comments and I will answer. Okay, and we're going to have some fun today, right? So we're going to talk about a few different phrases and sentences. The situation is difficult. Keep a stiff upper lip. It's hard to be brave. I cried like a baby. You moved forward. And then a quiz, right? And we'll also talk about, I kept my emotions in control. Your hair is so beautiful. Don't worry. What would you do? What would you do? Oh, yes. We are going to have a great lesson today. I'm quite excited. All right, so we're going to be doing a lot today. Oh, I see someone's in the comments. Sarah Mo, hello and welcome. Oh, lots of apples. So tasty. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to do is watch the conversation, but with sound, so we can hear them talk. So here we go. Let's watch the conversation all the way through.
I know this situation is difficult, but you need to keep a stiff upper lip.
It's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
I know. I cried like a baby the last time they cut my hair too short.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward.
You're right. I was able to keep my emotions in control.
Oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
Don't worry. Your hair will grow back.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
Okay, so, all right. So that was the conversation for today. And we're going to jump right in, get started, and I think we're going to break this conversation apart. Make sure we understand what's going on. Okay, so the first section, just to make sure, if you guys have comments or if you have a question or you want to talk about something, let me know in the chat, in the comments. We can talk about it. Here we go. This is the first section.
I know this situation is difficult, but you need to keep a stiff upper lip.
Aha! I know the situation is difficult. All right, so in this picture, we have a guy, I think it's a guy, who's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. It's like a puzzle. You have to get all of the same colors on one side, and all of the sides have to have only one color. So the situation may be difficult. Here are other ways to say, similar ways to say, the situation is difficult. You could say, the circumstances are hard, right? You could say, the situation is burdensome. It's another way to say difficult. All right, we could say the situation is demanding. Right? So it's not easy. It's making us work. We got to get some stuff done. The situation is exhausting. It's difficult and it makes us tired, maybe physically or emotionally. The situation is problematic. Ah, so maybe this situation causes stress and makes us upset. The circumstances are arduous. Aha. So arduous is similar to difficult. It's not as commonly used, but it's common enough. So let's see, let's do some pronunciation. First pronunciation of the night. Repeat after me. The situation is difficult. The circumstances are hard. The situation is burdensome. The situation is demanding. The situation is exhausting. The situation is problematic. And the circumstances are arduous. Okay. Right. So let's see. Let's talk about burdensome. Means it's difficult. Inside the word burdensome, we have the word burden. So let's see if someone has to go really far and they're carrying a lot of weight on their back. We said they have a heavy burden. Or maybe the horse or the donkey is carrying stuff and they have so much on their back. It's a heavy burden, right? So you could say the situation is burdensome. It's difficult. It's hard, right? We have someone in the comments, Hugo K. Welcome. All right. So all of these are different ways to say the situation is difficult. They're similar, but each one has a little bit of difference to them. Like demanding could actually be something that's good, right? It makes us better. Maybe it'll make us more skillful, more able to do something. Exhausting, if something is exhausting, it kind of has a negative feel to it because it makes you tired physically and probably emotionally. You're like, oh, that's so exhausting. I don't look forward to that at all. Problematic is, there's a problem in there. There's stress, things are not going so well, so something is problematic. And circumstances are very similar to the situation. It's what's happening, what's going on. So if the circumstances are arduous, it's just another way to say difficult, right? Okay, so let's continue forward in the conversation. And if you guys have other ways to say the sentences up top or the phrases on top, let me know in the comments, okay? All right, here we go. I guess we're going to stay right here. We'll repeat this part because she says the idiom. And we need to make sure that we understand the idiom. Here we go.
Situation is difficult, but you need to keep a stiff upper lip.
Aha. Keep a stiff upper lip. Let's see. Here are other ways to say keep a stiff upper lip. This is an idiom and it's pretty common, so it's good to know what it means. And here are other ways to say this idiom. Don't show that you are upset. Let's see. Don't let your emotions control your reactions. Be courageous when something bad happens. Be brave when it all goes wrong. Iman Salah says to control your anger, right? And it could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be maybe happiness, it could be going crazy, but it's being able to choose your reactions, right? So let's see, Sarah Mo says the situation has no solves. Situation has no solution, maybe is what you're looking for. And I believe that's what you're talking about when the situation is difficult, right? All right, so here we go. Keep a stiff upper lip. Don't show that you are upset. Now, upset could be maybe you're really sad, maybe you're really angry, maybe you're just pissed off. But if you keep a stiff upper lip, you don't let people know exactly how you feel, right? You don't show your emotions. Don't let your emotions control your reactions, right? Your reaction is your response to a situation. Whether something good happens or something bad happens, your reaction to it is how you respond. It's your action, right? It could also be a lack of action, right? Instead of going crazy and screaming, you could maybe be quiet and just gotta force your mouth to be quiet, to be shut, right? So the first two, they say don't do something, right? So don't do that. Don't show you're upset. Don't let your emotions control you. These are more positive, assertive ones telling you to do something, right? Be courageous when something bad happens. Be brave when it all goes wrong. When you think life is wonderful and all of a sudden something just happens and it all goes wrong. Right? Sarah Mo says, be calm and keep your emotions. Keep control of your emotions, right? So when they say stiff upper lip, the word stiff just means like hard, not easy to bend or not easy to move. And this would be your upper lip. And if you keep a stiff upper lip, the idea is that you're not talking. You're not yelling, you're not screaming, you're not crying and showing a whole bunch of emotion. So you're keeping a stiff upper lip. You're not showing that you are upset. Okay? Hugo K says, bottle up your feelings. That's similar. That is similar. And when you say bottle up your feelings, sometimes people will see that as a negative thing. And it depends. It depends. We'd need more information. But sometimes people will say, oh, you bottle up your feelings too much. And that would mean that you try not to show any emotion ever at all. You're like a robot. I do not show emotion, right? And if you do that too much, if you hide your emotions too much, then that's not good either, right? Especially if you have family and you have kids and you're like a robot. Hello, child. Hello, wife. And you never show emotions. You bottle up. You keep your emotions inside. That's not good either, right? So it's kind of a balance we have to find. In this picture, we have a lady, and she's wearing a mask, but just a mask that covers her eyes. And the idea why I picked this picture is because she's kind of hiding the emotions that she has, and she's using a mask to kind of cover it, right? It looks like there are hands that are holding the mask over her eyes, and her lips, just a very even, simple face, not showing a lot of emotion or what she's thinking or feeling. Okay? All right, so let's keep going in the conversation.
It's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
Now, I can't say I agree with this guy because I love my haircut. But it was good for the conversation. So he says, it's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut. All right. So you guys help me out. Can you think of other ways in English to say it's hard to be brave? And the picture is of a soldier, and I guess he's running away, right? Maybe there was a battle or something, and he wants out of there. He wants to get away. He does not want to be brave. He wants to survive. Okay, so here are other ways to say it's hard to be brave. Aha, in the comments we have Raghad, I think I'm saying that correct. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you went live with me yesterday. Interesting. Perhaps it could just be someone with the same name, but hello Raghad and welcome. Okay, so here are other ways to say it's hard to be brave. Just like the soldier down here, he's like, it's hard to be brave. And in the conversation, he said,
Hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
it's hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut. Or it's difficult to be courageous. Ah, right. Iman Salah says not easy to get courage. Not easy to have courage or be courageous. Right. It's difficult to be courageous. Oh, Raghad says, yes, it's me. All right. I thought I recognized your name. Welcome. All right. Let's see. You could also say it's hard to be fearless. It's onerous, not a common word, but we'll talk about this one. It's onerous to be lion-hearted. Lion-hearted. It's tiring to be heroic. It's demanding to be audacious. Ooh. All right. So all of these are similar ways. I can't say they're exactly the same, but they're quite similar to it's hard to be brave. All right. So let's do some pronunciation. It's great to do pronunciation. Repeat after me, and I will pause and give you time before I go to the next one. Repeat. It's hard to be brave. It's difficult to be courageous. It's hard to be fearless. It's onerous to be lion-hearted. It's tiring to be heroic. And it's demanding to be audacious. Okay, let me just adjust my microphone 1 second. All right. Okay, so these are, like I said, all similar ways to say it's hard to be brave. Brave is very similar to courageous. And I think in the comment, Iman Salah said it's not easy to have courage, right? So courage, courageous, brave. It's hard to be fearless. It's difficult to be fearless. And fearless, just think, fearless is without fear. So you're brave. Well, and the other thing about courage and courageous people is that I think they are scared of things, but what they do is they move forward even though they are afraid of something. So like this soldier, he might be freaking out and scared and he runs away. Another soldier might be scared, just as scared, but he decides to go forward instead. So that would be brave and courageous. All right, it's onerous to be lion-hearted. And I wouldn't hear this used that much. I put it in here because it's just another way to say this phrase up here. Onerous is another way to say difficult. It's hard, it's too much work, it's stressful, it's just exhausting, right? And lion-hearted is like, let's see, back, was it in Robin Hood, the story? Richard the Lionheart, the brave king or knight from, I think, England. So the idea is that you have a heart like a lion. You're very brave, you're courageous, you're fearless, you're heroic, right? It's tiring to be heroic. It takes a lot of energy to be a hero. It's difficult. And it's demanding to be audacious. Audacious is like bold, right? So we could say bold equals audacious. You're ready to take action, right? And people that take a lot of action, they need a lot of energy, right? And sometimes they get tired, but then if they're courageous and fearless, they keep going, right? Okay. All right, so let's keep going in the conversation. Oh, in the conversation, he's talking about his haircut. I like his haircut. I think it is wonderful. But we need to keep moving forward. Here we go.
When you get a bad haircut?
I know. I cried like a baby the last time they cut my hair too short.
I know. I cried like a baby the last time they cut my hair too short. Let's see, we have a comment. Bhaskar Yadav Media says, I think they have given up trying to be courageous. Yeah, I guess so. So, I cried like a baby. Let's see, here are other ways to say cried like a baby. And let's just talk about the picture first. When I see a picture like this, a little baby, I'm like, I want to pick up the baby, right? I want to make, looks like I think a little girl, and like, console her and try to make her feel better. Oh, what's wrong? It'll be okay. Are you hungry? Do you have a dirty diaper? Okay, but in the conversation when she says, I cried like a baby, it means other ways to say that. You could say, I shed tears like a little baby. I sobbed like a newborn baby. Newborn. All right. I sobbed like a newborn baby. I wailed like a little kid. I cried my eyes out. And I wept like a baby. Okay. So when we're talking about cried here, we're talking about, tears coming down your face. Oh, it's just so bad, right? When they cut your hair too short, Okay. So on the first one, I shed tears. Shed tears. Shed means to get rid of something. Like, let's see, a snake will shed their skin. When the skin on the snake is too old, it sheds the skin, it comes off, it gets rid of it. So if you shed tears, it's crying because your body is getting rid of the tears. So I shed tears like a little baby, right? I sobbed like a newborn baby. And sobbed is like crying, but extra. Sobbed is like, oh, and it's like the extra that just keeps going and going and going, and it's almost uncontrollable. You can't stop crying. So, I wailed like a little kid. All right, I'm not gonna try to make the noise, but if you ever hear a little kid who is either maybe they got hurt really bad, or they fell on their bike, but they have a lot of pain right now and they hurt. And they start wailing, just screaming really loud for their mom or their dad or their parents. It hurts so bad, and they're wailing. It's probably a mix of crying and screaming at the same time because their situation is very painful, right? Then we can just say, I cried my eyes out. And if you cried your eyes out, it can't just be a saying. Maybe you didn't really cry, but you're trying to communicate that the situation was very stressful for you and very difficult. So the movie was so sad, I cried my eyes out. Maybe you really did cry, or maybe it just made you feel so sad that, it was just, one of those movies that just grabs your heart and makes you feel like just crying your eyes out. See, Bhaskar Yadav Media says, crying in a high pitch. Right. Wailing. Yes. I'm not going to try to make the noise. But yes, it's pretty loud. I would say a mix of crying and screaming mixed together. Right? And I wept like a baby. And wept is past tense of the verb to weep. Right? So to weep equals to cry, and equals to shed tears. So they're very similar. You have little water coming out of your eyes and you're crying, right? Okay, so these are all similar ways to say I cried like a baby. And I think people add like a baby at the end because a baby doesn't really have control over their ability to cry. It's their only way to communicate, right? So when they cry, they really cry. They really let you know. Okay. All right. So if you describe a situation, you say, I cried like a baby, that situation was very difficult for you. Okay. So at one time, they cut her hair short too, and she cried like a baby. So yes, let's move forward. Here we go.
Last time they cut my hair too short.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward.
Right. You were able to keep a stiff upper lip. Or, in other words, like we just did, you were able to not show that you were upset. You were able to not let your emotions control your reactions. You were able to be courageous when something bad happened. You were able to be brave when it all went wrong. When you mess with our hair, I cry like a baby. Okay, all right. So we're talking about, I remember, you were able to keep a stiff upper lip. You were able to control your emotions and move forward. So we're going to talk about this short sentence, you moved forward. All right. And in the comments, if you have other ways that you think are similar to you moved forward, Please let me know. I remember last class, you guys were saying my answers before I could even put them on the screen. That's great. Okay, I like competition. Okay, so here are other ways to say you moved forward. You could say you kept going. You kept going. We're talking about action. You kept taking action. You kept advancing. Ah, that's right. You advanced. And we're talking about the past tense here because it already happened. In the conversation, I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward. So you were able. It already happened. So you advanced. You proceeded onward. Ah, Raghead says you developed. Yes, yes. That's even a deeper meaning than what I have. You moved forward could just mean that you're like, oh, I don't like short hair, but I will live with it and I can move forward. What Raghead said, you developed, that means you learned from it. You probably grew into a better person. You improved, right? Nice one, Raghead. Way to go. All right. You made progress. Right? Maybe like a trip. Think of like a trip where you need to go somewhere and you made progress. You moved forward. You made headway. And you pushed onward. All right. I like all of these because they show pretty good energy. And even though the situation is difficult, by golly, we're moving forward. We're advancing. We're going to keep going. Aha. Raghead said you made a movement. Aha. And hopefully it could be, well, yes. And it could be depends what kind of movement. Did you sit down? Sitting down would be a movement. Did you stand up? Did you run forward? Did you make a new appointment to get a different hairstyle? Don't know. All right. So let's do a little bit of pronunciation. Repeat after me. I will pause so that I can wait for you to move before I move to the next one. Here we go. Repeat out loud. And if you're doing pronunciation, give me some apples in the comments. It lets me know that you're participating, okay? Repeat after me. You moved forward. You kept going. You advanced. You proceeded onward. You made progress. You made headway. You pushed onward. Okay, so I see apples in the comments. That's great. That means you guys are doing pronunciation and working on your pronunciation with me. That's wonderful. Okay, so let me talk about this one. You proceeded onward. Onward is similar to forward, right? It's movement in the direction that you need to go to make progress, to develop, to move in probably the right direction. So onward. And proceeded, to proceed is to go, to do something, to move forward, right? You didn't just sit there and pick your nose or scratch your head. You took action, right? You proceeded onward. Okay? When I hear this one, you made headway, it makes me think of maybe a ship in a storm on a very, very stormy sea. And it's very difficult for the ship to go forward because the wind is blowing in front of them. The waves are huge and the waves are crashing into the ship. And it's difficult for them to make progress. It's difficult for them to move forward. So when I hear this, you made headway, is that maybe the ship had a difficult storm, but they were focused and they kept their sails up and they were working together and they were able to reach their goal or move towards their goal, right? Okay. All right. I see more apples. Tasty apples. Okay. So these are all similar ways to say you moved forward, right? All right. Let's back up just a little bit. And, oh, wait. I can't do more of the conversation because it's quiz time, right? We have 2 quizzes today. This is the first one, which means I need to put on my glasses. The glasses really have no effect whatsoever. But maybe it makes me look more like a serious teacher. Get in your seats. Sit down. Be quiet. We're taking a quiz. Maybe not. Okay, so here's the quiz. Let's see if you guys were listening while we did the first part of the conversation. Whoa, pop quiz! Surprise! Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Something that is difficult is usually burdensome, extraordinary, or unimaginative. Here comes the music. Let me know in the comments, what is your choice? You can put 1, 2, 3, or you can spell the whole word. That's up to you, or ABC. All right, here we go. Let me know what you think. Okay, I probably like that music too much. But, okay, here we go. Let's see. Something that is difficult is usually, burdensome. Right. The answer is burdensome. And I will come back and talk about the correct answer and the incorrect answers after we get through this first quiz. All right? Excuse me. So right now it's on to question number 2. Oh yeah. If you keep a stiff upper lip, then you control your problems, reactions, makeup. Here's your music. Okay. Oh, I have to stop sometime even though I like the music. Okay. Excuse me. If you keep a stiff upper lip, you control your reactions. Right. We'll talk about it in a moment, but first we need to get to question number 3. What was so bad that the man couldn't be brave? His attitude, his relationship, or his haircut? All right, here's your music. Okay, so what was so bad that the man couldn't be brave? And the answer is his haircut. And I know they said it was bad, but I tell you, I think his haircut was beautiful. Just, oh, so nice. So nice. Okay, so that was the first quiz. But like I said before, now we're going to go back and make sure that we understand the answers and the incorrect answers. I think it's good to talk about the incorrect answers as well because there might be something we don't understand. All right, this is question number 1. Something that is difficult is usually burdensome. Right, so let's see where we are. Aha, this is where it was. The situation is difficult. Right, and the example number 2, the second one, The situation is burdensome, right? It just means hard, difficult, maybe demanding, exhausting, but it takes a lot of energy to get through it. All right, so that's why the answer is B, is A for burdensome, right? Question number 2, if you keep a stiff upper lip, then you have power over your reactions, right? And we talked about the idiom, I love idioms, keep a stiff upper lip, right? So don't let your emotions control your reactions, right? Instead, you're controlling your reactions. You're the one who decides what happens, right? Okay, so that was the answer. If you keep a stiff upper lip, then you control your reactions. And for number 3, yeah, what was so bad that the man couldn't be brave? His haircut was so bad, right? And if we look in the, it's in the conversation. There you go. We'll play it.
It's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
So that was what was so bad. It wasn't his attitude. It wasn't his relationship. It was his haircut. Okay. And let's see. The other incorrect answers, I'm just taking a look, see if there's anything worth explaining. Attitude, you know, how you feel, good, bad, something in between. Your relationship, how you interact with people. Problems, things that are wrong. Makeup doesn't make any sense. Lipstick or eyeliner or whatever, makeup, stuff like that. All right, so burdensome was the answer. Extraordinary means extraordinary, right? So it's not just normal, it's extraordinary, it's incredible. And unimaginative, this is a simple one, is not imaginative. So it means your imagination, sorry to be rude, but if you're unimaginative, your imagination kind of sucks. It's that you can't think of outside the box, maybe they say. You can't think of extra things by yourself. So you have no imagination or a weak imagination. Okay, so we took the quiz and I think it's time to move forward in the conversation. Let's see where we left off. Right? Oh, we did. You moved forward before and now we're going to move forward in the conversation. All right, here we go. So let's do it. I got to read the comment. The worst haircut, Raghad says, the worst haircut is when you get your bangs cut uneven. Oh, I got to take my glasses off because the quiz is over. So no more strict teacher, right? All right. The worst haircut is when you get your bangs cut uneven. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to guess this is more of an issue for women. I guess it's possible. Some men have longer hair. But in case you're not sure, bangs are this part of the hair that comes down right here. So you could say, I have no bangs, right? So I don't have to worry about them being short or long or uneven. I have no bangs. But some women, they have longer hair. And if the bangs, this part in front, if they don't cut it even, and it's like, swoop, it might ruin your day. Okay, so let's move forward. Here we go in the conversation.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward.
You're right. I was able to keep my emotions in control.
All right. You're right. I was able to keep my emotions in control. Okay, so here are other ways, similar ways to say I kept my emotions in control. All right, here we go. Nothing could bother me. I kept control over my emotions. Whoops. Oh yeah, that works. We're just using similar words, but we're twisting them around just a little bit to give us another way to say a similar thing, okay? I was able to maintain my composure. Composure. This is a good word, and we'll explain it in a moment. I was in I was in control of my emotions. And I maintained great focus. Or if we want to use the idiom, we could say, I kept a stiff upper lip. I was able to keep a stiff upper lip. Okay. Let's see, Raghav said, yes, it's usually a women's problem. When we're talking about the bangs and the long hair and the cut, stuff like that. See, Raghav said, I managed to control my emotions. Right. I kept my emotions in control. Let's see, nothing could bother me. People were screaming and yelling and insulting me, but I was like, bring it on. I can take it. All right. I kept control over my emotions, right? That's just the same words, but in this time, we put control first and then we put emotions at the end. And I was able to maintain my composure. All right. Maintain means to have control over or keep going in a certain way. Maybe you keep going in a way that's very calm and tranquil. You don't suddenly change and you freak out and you're pissed off. Okay, I was able to maintain my composure. My composure is your emotional state right now. I would say right now I feel pretty calm. And if suddenly someone runs in and grabs my computer, my laptop, and throws it against the wall, I would be like, it would be a test. Would I be able to maintain my composure? Would I be able to maintain my calmness, my ability to control my emotions? I don't know. If someone cut your bangs incorrect, and they were like talking on the phone while they're cutting your bangs, and then they make a huge mistake and they don't apologize, they don't fix it, would you be able to maintain your composure, or would you be like, no tip for you? Okay. See, I was in control of my emotions. Instead of I kept control over, you say I was in, as in I'm the one in charge. I'm the one who's deciding what is happening. Right? I maintained great focus. Maintain is like before, maintain my composure, maintained great focus. I kept going in a similar direction with similar energy and moving towards a similar goal. All right. Okay, so these are similar ways to say I kept my emotions in control. I'm not going to do a pronunciation for all of them, but I will pick a couple of the big words. Let's see, we'll do this one. Repeat after me. I was able to maintain my composure. All right, and the word is composure. Okay? All right, time to move forward in the conversation. And someone, Papu Metta, says, hi. I say hello and welcome to this live YouTube lesson. Let's study some English. All right. All right, so let's repeat the last part and then we'll advance in the conversation. Here we go.
All right. I was able to keep my emotions in control.
Oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
Your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly. All right, so he says, your hair is so beautiful. Before I move forward, I'm just going to talk about this picture quickly. The idea is that this guy kind of appears competent, right? He has a nice business suit on. He's standing there and he's like, yes, I can keep my emotions in control. Right? Saddam Dang says, hi. So, hello. Welcome. All right. So, let's see. We're going to talk about other ways to say your hair is so beautiful, because in the conversation he says, oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly. Okay. So, what do you guys think? What are other ways to say your hair is so beautiful? Leave it in the comments. What do you think? I see we have a question. Papu Metta says, sir, what is the purpose of this show? Ooh, is this like a TV show? I don't know. But this is an English lesson. It's a live English lesson. And I'm sorry I laughed because Roghad says your hair is remarkable. And I wonder if she's talking about my hair. No, I think she's just giving other ways to say your hair is so beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so Papu Meta, sir, what is the purpose of this show? It's an English lesson. And we're using a conversation, we're breaking the conversation into parts, and we're talking about vocabulary and phrases. Okay, so Roghead says your hair is remarkable. Yes. Iman Salah says your hair is gorgeous. Roghead says your hair looks good. Right. Right, you guys are going to beat me to my list. Sarang Ding says you don't have hair much more. I think he's talking about me. Oh, nah. I could have hair. Well, I do have hair. It's very short. It could grow long, but I love it short. All right, so I got to stay focused here. All right, I got to stay focused. Your hair is so beautiful. Here we go. Your hair is so incredible. Let's see, Papu Meta says your hair is awesome. Yes, very similar word to incredible, right? We're trying good energy here. We're giving a compliment, a wonderful compliment, and not just a regular compliment, because when we put so in front of it, it's like really, very, really, really, really. Okay, so your hair is so beautiful. Your hair is so amazing. Your hairdo is so lovely. Your hairstyle is awesome. And let's see, your hair is heavenly. Right. See, Saddam Deng says, your hairs are so nice. And you're going to want to say hair, no S, just say hair. Because the hairs, if you say hairs, it's like you're counting each individual hair. And that's not quite what we're talking about. We're talking about the hair as a group, all of the hairs together, right? So if you look, I used hair, hairdo is another way to say your kind of hair, like your hairstyle, and hair, right? So no hairs, okay? Let's see. All right, so there's a lot of ways to give people a compliment when you think something is really nice, incredible, amazing, so lovely, awesome, heavenly, right? Raghad said hair is uncountable, right? It's kind of like the word rice. You don't say rices, I'm going to eat the rices. Even though you can count the pieces of rice, you don't count the rice. It's like an idea, a concept. Okay. All right. Saddam Deng says, okay, bro, that's nice information. That's what I'm here for, to give out nice information. Okay. So, yeah, all of these are other ways to say your hair is so beautiful. The one at the bottom is like a really nice compliment, like really nice, because your hair is heavenly. Or we could even make it even more, so heavenly. So whether or not you believe in heaven and hell, if you're religious or not, it's not really a big deal. The idea is that if someone describes something as being heavenly, it's like, oh, it's incredible, right? It's just like really, 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 really nice. Papu Meta says eye-catchy. I think you mean eye-catching, and I'm going to put that in the comments. Eye-catching, right. So it's like you're walking past and all of a sudden, oh, you do a double take. You look twice because it's like it grabs your attention and it pulls you. You want to look. Right. So let's see. We'll switch the last one and we'll say your hair is very eye-catching. All right. Oh, we'll delete that one. Your hair is very eye-catching, right? Like it catches your eyes, like a net. Like you're fishing or something and it catches your eyes, it attracts your attention. All right. Okay. Right. You guys did great in the comments. Let's move forward in the conversation. We'll repeat this and we'll move to the next part. Here we go.
Your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
And one last thing before I move forward. The lady's hair, right? She has her eyes closed. And it looks like she's just kind of maybe meditating or pausing for a moment in silence. And there's probably wind around her and is blowing her hair in the wind. And someone took a picture of her. And someone maybe thinks, wow, your hair is very eye-catching. It's incredible. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. All right, so let's go to the next section. Here we go.
Don't worry, your hair will grow back.
Yes! So here are other ways to say don't worry, right? So this lady is worrying. She's worrying like crazy, but we're saying, put the X, no worry, don't worry. All right, let's see. Here we go. Don't worry. Here are other ways. Roghead says your hair is exquisite. Yes, exquisite is like very high quality, incredibly great quality and wonderful. Yes. All right. Don't worry. Aha. Papu Meta says be optimistic. Ooh, I like that one. Yes. We could also say it's all right. Right? As in don't worry. Because in the conversation, she's talking to the guy on the phone and he's upset because he feels like his hair is so ugly, and she's trying to console him. She's trying to make him feel better and kind of make him relax. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. It's all right. You could also say it will be all right. Huh? Okay, let's see. These things happen, right? And so if someone says, "Oh, my hair is horrible. They cut my hair. It was terrible, and I've cried like a baby." Someone might say, "Oh, these things happen." They're trying to show you sympathy. They're trying to make you understand that they feel your pain, whether it has happened to them before, or maybe they just understand your stress. These things happen, right? Papu Meta says not to worry. Things will turn out, right? As in not to worry. Things will get better, right? You could also say there, right? Very simple. Let's say someone is crying, something really just happened to them, and someone puts their hand on their shoulder and they kind of tap it and they say, there. It will be okay. Don't worry. It's all right. These things happen. So we're trying to make people feel better, okay? Things will look up soon, right? Now, when you say this, you're trying to make that person kind of look into the future and not be stuck right now that things are so terrible. So things will look up soon. So when he says, "Oh, I feel so ugly," things will look up soon. Things will get better, right? You see, Papu Meta says there's something you can't change. Oh, let's see. Raghead says, "Who cares?" Right, that is a possible answer. And sometimes it works well with people that complain and complain and complain and never stop complaining. Maybe something happens in their life, no matter what it is. "Oh, I'm a victim. Oh, things are so bad." And eventually people are just going to say, "Who cares?" And they don't want to give you all this sympathy because you just suck up people's energy. Okay. All right, but in this one, the girl is trying to make the man feel a little bit better. Okay, so things will look up soon. You could also say cheer up, right? I hope you feel better. Get well. Things will be better. All right, and don't let it get you down. And here we're kind of talking about negative energy, right? So if you got a horrible haircut, you're just like, "Oh, I can't go to work. I can't show other people how bad my hair is." And someone says, "Don't let it get you down. Don't worry. There. Things will look up. Things will get better. You can do it," right? And these are kind of things that you would probably say to people that you like, right? Like Roghead said, she says, "Who cares?" You would probably say "who cares" to someone that you don't like or someone that is really annoying you, right? But in this situation, these are all similar to "don't worry." The words are quite different, but the similar idea is that, relax. It will be okay. And you wouldn't shout and scream them. You talk in a calm way and try to make someone feel better. See, Papu Meta says time heals everything. Right. So over time, things will get better, right? Okay, so these are other ways to say don't worry. And if we describe the lady down here, let me move the red thing out of the way. She is just like I would say overwhelmed. She has her hand on her head. She has her hand out like, stop, I can't take any more bad energy. Oh, get it away. And so someone who's her friend might say, oh, don't worry. These things happen, right? There. Things will look up soon. Cheer up. Right. And then, yeah, so don't worry. Okay, so these are other ways to say don't worry. And it's a way to share positive energy to someone or with someone when they have really negative energy or something bad happen. All right, so let's go forward. Next section.
Your hair will grow back.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
Okay, so this is kind of a longer question. What would you do if your hair was as short as mine? So I'm going to give you other ways to say the first part of the question. What would you do? So the complete question is, what would you do if your hair was as short as mine? In other words, a different beginning to the question could be, how would you react if your hair was as short as mine? What actions would you take if your hair was as short as mine? How would you respond if your hair was as short as mine? And what would be your answer to the situation if your hair was as short as mine? Papu Metta says, if I were you, I would visit to the doctor. I would visit the doctor. And try to get my hair to grow back. All right, so these are all similar ways to say the question, or the first part of the question, what would you do? We're trying to figure out what action will this person take. All right, so all of these can be short sentences by themselves. What would your answer be to the situation? How would you respond? What actions would you take? Stuff like that. All right, so let's do a little pronunciation. Repeat after me. Show me some apples if you guys are participating. All right, so repeat out loud. What would you do? How would you react? What actions would you take? How would you respond? What would be your answer to the situation? Okay, and once again, these are other ways to say, what would you do? The first part of the question in the conversation, when he says, what would you do if your hair was as short as mine? And in the picture down here, we just have a lady, I think it's a lady, judging by the fingers, that is holding a piece of paper or maybe a book with a white question mark on it, because we're asking, what would you do? All right, let's see. Papu Metta says, I would keep myself positive regarding my hair. Right. And if all else fails, you can wear a wig. Okay, so let's see where we are. Aha, we're at the section now where we are going to watch the conversation again, because there is there's a question at the end, right? We're going to watch the conversation, and I'm going to stop and give you other ways quickly to say the conversation. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Let me find my spot. Right, I know we're here. There we are. Okay, so I will pause briefly at each stop in the conversation to give you other ways to say what they're saying.
I know this situation is difficult, but you need to keep a stiff upper lip.
Right. So we could pick any of these. I know the circumstances are hard. I know the situation is demanding, but you need to be courageous when something happens. But don't let your emotions control your reactions.
It's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
It's hard to be fearless. It's difficult to be courageous when you get a bad haircut.
I know. I cried like a baby the last time they cut my hair too short.
I know. I wailed like a little kid the last time they cut my hair too short. I cried my eyes out the last time they cut my hair too short.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and you proceeded onward. You made progress. You made headway. Right. Right?
You're right. I was able to keep my emotions in control.
You're right. I was able to maintain my composure. I maintained great focus. Nothing could bother me.
Oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
Ah, your hair is so lovely. Your hair is very eye-catching. I think we had before we had heavenly. So incredible.
Don't worry. Your hair will grow back.
Ah, it's all right. There. Cheer up. Your hair will grow back.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
How would you react? How would you respond? What actions would you take if your hair was as short as mine? Okay, so I have to take a chance to, whenever I can, to dance to the music. Okay, so we're going to answer this question now. So basically the question is, what would you do? All right, let's see. What would you do if your hair was as short as mine? So we're gonna speak for her and give other ways to answer this question. So let's see in the comments if you have ways to answer this question. Let me know, because I have a few ways as well. All right, let's see. Papu Meta says, I would keep patience. You could say, I would be patient, right? Or I would have patience. Excuse me. Okay. So if they ask the question, what would you do? What would you do if your hair was cut so short? One answer could be, I would stay home for 6 months. I can't go outside if my hair is horrible. I would stay home for 6 months. What would you do? I would wear a huge hat and huge sunglasses to hide, not let anybody see me. I would cry like a baby and buy a beautiful wig. I would smile and be happy. So these are all similar ways to do it. Papu Meta says, I would put on a cap, right? A hat. I would wear a hat. A cap, says Rockhead. Right. Okay, so the question once again. Let's see, we'll make it a little mini conversation.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
I would stay home for 6 months.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
I would wear a huge hat and huge sunglasses. Oh, I would cry like a baby and buy a beautiful wig. Oh, I would smile and be happy. It's just hair. All right. Okay. So these are a few ways to say, to answer the question, what would you do? And we're using I would, right? Because we're not actually in the situation. We're kind of guessing. We're talking about what we might do, what perhaps might happen. All right. So that's one set of answers. Roghead says, I would wear a wig. Let's see, Papu Meta, is it possible to get yourself inside home for 6 months? Is it possible to stay in your house or inside your home for 6 months? Maybe. Maybe the person is exaggerating. They're making it sound like it's worse than it actually is. And if they just said, you know, I will stay home for 2 hours, people will be like, okay, yeah. But if you say, oh, I'm going to stay home for 6 months, and people would think, wow, your hair must be really horrible. And if you notice in the conversation, they're talking on the phone, right? And they're not doing a video call, so she can't see what his hair looks like. So if he says, I would stay home for 6 months, she's like, it must be terrible. If he said, oh, you know, I'm going to stay home for like 10 minutes, you'd be like, oh, it's not that bad. Okay, so that was one set of answers. Let's do another set. Okay, so what would you do? I would climb on top of a mountain and scream at the top of my lungs that the world is not fair. I would eat ice cream every day, all day long, for the rest of my life. Okay, so these are other options. Let's see.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
Well, gee, I would climb on top of a mountain and scream at the top of my lungs that the world is not fair. At the top of my lungs is an idiom, and it means to scream or speak as loud as you can. Right? The next one.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
I would eat ice cream every day, all day long, for the rest of my life. Oh, not so healthy and probably not such a big deal, right? Just like Papu Meta says, I think it's not a big deal. And I would say it depends on the person. Some women, some men are very serious when it comes to their hair. All right. Papu Meta says, does it make any difference having short hair? Even one eye man survives. Let's see if it cut the comment out. It still survive even if you have short hair. Okay. So you know what? We're almost to the quiz. But I'm going to give you guys one more chance to watch the conversation, and I will say nothing. I will just watch, make some silly faces, and then we'll do the quiz. So here is the conversation all over again. So watch and be ready for the quiz.
I know this situation is difficult, but you need to keep a stiff upper lip.
It's so hard to be brave when you get a bad haircut.
I know. I cried like a baby the last time they cut my hair too short.
I remember you were able to keep a stiff upper lip and move forward.
You're right. I was able to keep my emotions in control.
Oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
Don't worry. Your hair will grow back.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
Okay, music stops. The quiz begins. All right, let's see if you're ready. Question number 1. After saying her hair was beautiful, the man said he felt so frustrated, so ashamed, so ugly. What do you think? Leave your answer in the comments. Here is your music to get your brain flowing. Here we go. Okay, so after saying her hair was beautiful, the man said he felt, here's the answer, so ugly. And we'll talk about the answers in a moment, but first, we're going to get to question number 2. Here we go. If we want to make someone feel better, we might say, over there, there, here. Were you paying attention? Let me know. Here we go. Okay, so the question is, if we want to make someone feel better, we might say, there. It's okay. All right, question number 3. How did the girl react when the man asked what she would do? What was her reaction? She was cheerful. She was fearful. She was shocked. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, so how did the girl react when the man asked what she would do? Well, she was shocked. And we'll show you that in a moment. So let's see. That was quiz number 2. All right. And now it's time to go back and make sure we understand the answers and the correct answers and the incorrect answers. So let's take a look at question number 1. After saying her hair was beautiful, the man said he felt so ugly, right? This was in the conversation. Let's see if we can find it. Here it is.
Oh, your hair is so beautiful. I feel so ugly.
Right? So after he said her hair was beautiful, your hair is so beautiful, he said he felt, I feel so ugly. So the answer is so ugly. The other answers, so ashamed. No, he didn't say that. And ashamed means you feel bad about something that happened, right? You regret it. So frustrated, he didn't say that, but frustrated means that you're upset about something because it's difficult, it's a big challenge, and you just can't move forward, and you feel stressed out and frustrated. Okay, so after saying her hair was beautiful, the man said he felt so ugly, right? Okay, so in question number 2, if we want to make someone feel better, we might say, there, right? Let's take a look. Where did we study that? We studied that in the last section. Here it is. Similar to don't worry, right? If something happens and they're your friend or maybe someone that you enjoy and something bad happens to them, you try to make them feel better. You might say don't worry, but you also might say there. As in, it's okay. There. So in the question, the answer was there. Over there? No, over there is incorrect, and we're not talking about something located over there. And we don't say here either. It's there, right? So if you want to make someone feel better, you might tap them on the shoulder lightly. You're not going to hit them. You tap them on the shoulder and say, oh, there. It will be okay. All right? So that was question number 2. Question number 3, how did the girl react when the man asked what she would do? Because we had to come up with an answer for her. And she was shocked. All right? Let's take a look where it was in the conversation. Right? So here's the question, and then we're going to see her reaction. And that should be the same as our answer.
What would you do if your hair was as short as mine?
She was shocked, right? She's like surprised plus scared, right? The next closest answer would be she was fearful. But it doesn't quite work because I don't think she is scared so much that something's going to hurt her or that she's going to have a big problem. Because it didn't happen to her. And she's just thinking about how would she react if it did happen. So her response was shock. I mean, we could see here she has fake exclamation marks over her head, meaning she's shocked. She's full of surprise and right? Okay, so she was shocked. She was not cheerful. Cheerful would be like she was happy. She was glad that it happened, but not so much. And she wasn't scared. She was shocked. Like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine what would happen if I had a bad haircut. Okay, so that was the end of the quiz. Right. So we talked about the answers, and let's talk about what did we accomplish in this lesson. We did a lot of stuff, right? Okay. Did we watch a conversation? Oh yeah, yes we did. We watched the conversation right here, right? Did we analyze the conversation? Oh, that's right, yes we did. We talked about a lot of different stuff. Right, keep a stiff upper lip. It's hard to be brave. I cried like a baby. You moved forward. Ah, yes. I kept my emotions in control. Your hair is so beautiful. Don't worry. What would you do? What would you do? Right. Okay, so did we talk about phrases and vocabulary? Yes, we did. A lot. And we did pronunciation too. Bonus. All right. And did we use pictures to help understand? Yeah, we did. And we talked about some of the pictures. All right. And we took 2 quizzes, not just one, but a mid-lesson quiz and an end-of-lesson quiz. All right. And did we have some fun? Well, I had some fun. Maybe that's the only thing that's important. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Yes. And you guys, Ragad said you forgot the glasses. I did. I did. I forgot my quiz glasses. So, guess what? They broke. So I guess I couldn't wear them because they were broke. Yeah, they're broke. I can try to put them on, but okay. I had so much fun that I broke my glasses. I will have to fix them for the future. Okay, so I had a lot of fun with you guys. If you enjoy these kind of lessons and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. And we have a lot of, actually pretty much all of our lessons now are live on YouTube. And then you can see them afterwards too, if you missed it. So if you want to subscribe, that would be great. And I'll leave you with my motto. Our motto at Ablelingo: improve your English and become more valuable, right? The idea is that English is like a tool, right? It could be like a car or like an investment in a college education or a specific kind of improvement program. When you improve your English, if you have a specific goal, well, you become more valuable because you're able to create more value and do more things, right? Okay, so improve your English, become more valuable, right? That is it for today. I think the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the music from the end of the video, and I'm going to enjoy it. Maybe you guys can enjoy it with me. Here we go. After this, I will be off. So until next time, let's hear the music. All right, see you later. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world.